Hey Corey, we have another viewer question today, and it's from They Never Got Ethiopia. And the question is, how do you always maintain being her rock and mountain when life gets really tough?
Well, it's really about discipline and having standards for yourself as a man and showing up. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody cares about your problems. They don't care about my problems. I don't care about your problems, and they're glad that we have them. And in order to get from where you are to where you want to be, you got to grind. There's days you're going to get up, you're going to feel excited and inspired about your purpose and your mission in life. And there's going to be other days where you don't want to get out of bed. But as a man, especially if you got other mouths to feed and a girl that's home being a stay at home mom, it's like nobody gives a shit. Get your ass out of bed and you got to go to work. You got to go to the gym. You got to take care. You got to maintain standards because that's what keeps your girl feeling safe and comfortable because you're handling things as a man. If you start slacking off and doing nothing, and then the phone gets turned off or the cable gets turned off, bill collectors are calling, then she's going to get in a fearful state because you've dropped standard and you're not maintaining the household. You're not providing that blanket of masculinity and safety and doing what a man is supposed to do. Masculine energies, purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers. And as long as you're doing that and you're getting the results, she's going to feel safe and trust you totally, submit to you fully, and go wherever you go. But if you slack off and you don't, water's going to get a little rough. She's going to get a little unsure. She's going to not trust your masculine core as much. She might get a little bitchy. She might start probing and testing you, especially things that you might have a negative emotional charge about.
Your relationship is only as good as your worst day. You drop standard one day, you get triggered, you get perturbed, you get set off.
Butthurt.
You say some stuff that you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Let me tell you what, she will remember that shit for a year or more, and she'll use it against you. I do the consciousness exercises that Corey has
On YouTube.
on YouTube. Do those. I do those every morning before I brush, before I floss. When I wake up in the morning, I have about an hour before I start seeing clients in the office. And then Ashley said to me, she said, where are you going? I go to the office about an hour early, and I spend about a half hour to 45 minutes doing the consciousness exercises. Because for me, it helps me show up on my A game. I don't, my off day is still 99% on when I do the consciousness exercises. When I don't do the consciousness exercises, then I'm a little more sensitive. Things get to me a little more than they would. So I said, what would you like for me? You want me to stay home and connect with you and hold you? Or would you like for me to go to the conscious exercise? She said, go do the conscious exercises. Because she says, when you do those, you show up better. You're more present. You're more unperturbable. You're more in your center, and you're more in your masculine. She says, go do those. Go to the office an hour early. Because that when you do that consistently, you're awesome and amazing. So I would say that
That's
it's
consciousness exercises 1 through 12. There's a
1 through
playlist
12.
on YouTube, and there's also a playlist on, if you're on my Facebook page, in the video section there.
For me, it's like putting a cape on. I show up as the best version of me consistently. Also, I rage every morning. And doing the rage for me is huge because I feel like it allows me to dissipate any pent up emotion. So instead of having this much capacity, I now have this much capacity. Ashley could be more needy. She could be more sensitive. She could. So basically, what I'm saying is there are times when your woman's going to need you to show up more. They're going to demand more of you. And they have that capacity to show up and give them more attention when they're more needy, when they need you to be more present.
Make them feel heard and understood.
Make them feel heard and just show up as that with game, even when you don't feel like you're at that place. The conscious exercises and raging for me helps me be at that place. And also, maybe I'm not sure about everybody
courtship
here,
never
but
ends.
I get amnesia after about 4 weeks. If I don't review my notes, this is how I show up. This is why I show up this way. This is what the masculine handles this. It's like I have a written a list of the masculine, and all you got to do is the conscious exercise rage and just review that basic list. So it's on the front burner. It's one thing if it's on the back burner, but it's more useful if it's on the front and it's fresh. So I review that from time to time, and it allows me to show up on my A game because, man, it's almost as if women have a sensor. They can tell when you're not quite on that A game, and that's when they're going to call you out. They wait till you're at the party. They wait till the time when it's the most inconvenient. Baby, I need your undivided presence. And you're like, Here, really? We got all this stuff they know when you're the most fragile. They know when they're most likely to get to you, and that's when they're going to test you. So you have to do the basics. Consciousness exercises rage and review the basics of masculinity.
Make her
And
feel heard and understood, and continue the courtship because it never ends. You always got to date.
courtship
and
never
romance her.
ends. And it's their job to
Always.
test you because they want to know, can I trust you? Can I rely on you? Are you going to be there for me and my babies? That's how they're wired. They might not even be aware of it. They're designed to test you. So accept the challenge.
Yeah, so the default is to actually be able to show up, right? I think we have it almost backwards. We're like, oh, well, we're not, and then we need to do something or be a certain way to be. Like that's actually the default, and there's stuff that gets in the way. And like you could almost like change the question a little bit, but it's similar. It's like how do you be strong and maintain centeredness when you're just dealing with the bullshit of owning a business, right? And the bullshit never stops. It never stops. Some days you handle it better and other days you don't, right? But for both the relationship and the business, one is noticing what's going on right now if you can't access the default, because that's actually what's getting in the way. It's a blind spot. And then once you notice that, you have to actually connect to a bigger why, right? And it doesn't have to be something that sounds great, but it's something that connects you to like a purpose, right? Like what do you actually love about her? Like what is it about this person and this journey that you want to be on that actually has you want to do everything you can to make it special, right? And like when you connect to that, whatever inspired action comes from that, you just follow that, right? But the first step is actually being aware if you can't be strong or maintain centeredness, like what's actually going on there right now. Because trying to ignore that, go around it, push past it, it's not going to work because there's no acknowledgement of what's happening right now in the moment. And I think I see that a lot. It's like, is it like I don't know if someone coined this phrase, toxic positivity, right? Pretending to be positive, saying positive things when there's clearly something going on there.
It's seeing
Doesn't
reality
actually-
better
yeah.
than it is.
Yeah, like it just trying to spin it in a certain way, which by the way, you see that a lot in government, right? Like just call it like it is, and then we can work with it. But when you try to spin it, and you're not even connected to what's going on now, and there's no acknowledgement of what's there now, there's no chance.